we are now moving into the last quarter of the year. So today I thought we would look at 10 books I want to read before 2026. Which is such an insane concept to think about, because I know I just put the end of year tag, but to be ticking off the last books I want to read before the end of the year already just seems insane. But here we go, I guess. First up, yes, I have seen the comments. I've seen them all. I'm going to read it. I know I kind of shelved this for a wee while, but I'm going to read Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. I know I did reading vlogs for the first two, and I kind of sat on this one for ages. I've seen the comments coming in. I know it's taken me ages to get to this, especially with how much I loved the first two books. So I am going to read this before the end of the year. Is a very chunky boy, and Sun Eater's kind of been the read-along for the year, but there will be an Assassin's Quest reading vlog before 2026. If there's not, you can come at me in the comments, and I'll come up with some dumb punishment to do in the video when it does release. No, there's not going to be a punishment, because I will read Assassin's Quest this year. And I must say, I am really looking forward to it. Especially, what's hyped me up is the Illumicrate editions arrived, and just looking at some of the arts for... The art for some of the scenes. I mean, just remembering some of the scenes, and especially Royal Assassin, but even Assassin's Apprentice, which I know is a really popular book, but I still think it's underrated because a lot of people say it's okay, but push on to Royal Assassin because it's great. For me, this was even more emotionally devastating than Royal Assassin. I would put it on a par. Perhaps Royal Assassin was better reading experience overall, but I would still consider this underrated because so many people are, oh, it's okay. No, it's not. It's great. Which does make me hopeful for Assassin's Quest, because I have heard that Royal Assassin is a lot of people's favourite book in the trilogy. However, I love the first one as much as I love the second one, so I am hopeful that the third one, Assassin's Quest, is going to live up to the hype of the first two, despite it not being people's favourite. But still, Robin Hobb book. Not a huge fan of the audiobooks. They are quite dated at this point. So I do prefer to read Hobb physically. Words are not wording today, which is another reason why I've not rushed to grab this one, because a lot of my reading this year has been audiobooks. I would say 70, 75%, maybe 80% of my reading this year has been audiobooks. I've just not had the same amount of time to sit down and read a book, but I'm going to try and prioritize it so I can get to these 10 books before the end of the year. And one of those will definitely be Assassin's Quest. I said it, it's in a video, I've dated it before 2026. Do it, baby! Next up, the obsession of the year for me very much has been Sun Eater. So we're going to be reading Ashes of Man. I've already talked a lot about Sun Eater this year, so I'm not going to repeat myself. Loved the first two, but Demon in White and Kingdoms of Death shot it up as an all-time favourite, so I'm hopeful that Ashes of Man is going to keep that going. And I'm really amped to get back to this. I think since Demon in White has been to the point where I'm excited to read the next book. Like, really, really excited. It's not even been that long since I read Kingdoms of Death, but I'm already amped to continue into Ashes of Man. And what's quite interesting about Kingdoms of Death and Ashes of Man is that these were originally one book, which is quite interesting. So this was originally one. It should be that way, but you get the idea. It should have been one book. However, yeah, can you imagine that being one book? It would be ridiculously huge. So it did get broken up into two publications. So I'm interested because Kingdoms of Death definitely had an ending. It's not a book where it's clearly been cut in half and it just had a very unsatisfying ending. It had a very satisfying ending for me. I really loved the ending of Kingdoms of Death and just the book as a whole. So I'm interested to see where Ashes of Man takes the second leg of this part of the journey. I have heard that this is the only book-to-book iteration where there's not really a big time skip. One of the things that I really do like about Sun Eater is the scope of the story covers so much time, and the time skips between books really just creates this distance and this feeling of scope and scale and time passing, and you just kind of start in the next Sun Eater book and kind of being caught up with what Hadrian and co have been up to is one of the things I really, really like about this series. That being said, having a direct continuation from Kingdoms of Death makes complete sense, so I'm excited to see how this continues on with the Sun Eater narrative. And also, I just got these editions from Broken Binding. How beautiful are these covers? Absolutely ridiculous. I adore the Kingdoms of Death cover as well. That's just insane. And I must say, this cover has me very excited about kind of the intense scene that seems to be taking place on this cover. It looks insane. However, as well as Ashes of Man, we will also be reading the next one, Disquiet Gods. That will be the read-along book for November, so we will be reading that in November, Disquiet Gods. And I have heard that Disquiet Gods, I remember when that first released, Disquiet Gods, I'm pretty sure it was last year, perhaps the year before, and I do remember people reading it and giving this very confused, wow, this book is absolutely insane. And it makes sense. Once you get to about the third book, there's a lot of weird sci-fi antics in the Sun Eater books. And yeah, and if Disquiet Gods knocks it up again, I'm very intrigued to see where Disquiet Gods takes the story. And the final book, Shadows Upon Time, of course, comes out towards the end of the year. We are not... Technically, it's a bi-monthly read-along, so the next month would be January, so it wouldn't fall into this TBR. However, there is a slot in December where Patreons get to vote what we're reading in the book club, and it's not been picked yet, so who knows, it might be picked for that. I'm kind of hoping it is, because I'd like to read all of Sun Eater this year, but if it's not, I'll probably read it right at the end of the year or into January, because Sun Eater's been so good. Been so impressed with Sun Eater. Next one up, I am still reading Blackfire Blade. I'm planning on finishing it very soon, so I will be doing a reading vlog. I'll probably not finish this in time for the wrap-up. Maybe I will finish this in time for the wrap-up. If it's not in the wrap-up, then it will be in a fall autumnal vlog where I will get my feelings out way before it comes out in November. Overall, I'm really, really enjoying this. I think it might be better than book 1, which is pretty damn good because I really enjoyed Silver Blood Promise. So if you enjoyed Silver Blood Promise, do not fear. Blackfire Blade definitely continues on with that quality of work. I love being back with Lucan and Flea, and yeah, I don't want to get too much away before I finish it, but I'm having an absolute blast with it. Also, I have taken to doing more short form content, so if you are interested in seeing my review or very quick thoughts, kind of once I finished it straight away, do follow me over on Instagram or TikTok. I'm more active on Instagram, but I do cross post to TikTok and occasionally check it. But I'll probably drop a reel or some sort of review when this is finished. Next one up, we have some autumnal books. Now for this year, I wanted to read The Exorcist. This is often called one of the scariest books of all time, and I have yet to be scared by a book. I don't read a ton of horror, so it makes sense. I did read It, and I really liked It by Stephen King, but I wasn't scared while reading it. It was definitely creepy, but I was never particularly scared. Give me a horror film where things are jump scaring, then yeah, I'll definitely jump. However, I've not had that sense of fear from a book yet. So because it's just touted as one of the scariest books ever read, I think I'm going to read Exorcist this year, which I'm really excited for. I think we're doing kind of like a mini side read-along buddy read over on the Discord. So if you want to read it as well, come hop over and we can chat about it over there. Again, this is another one that will go into the fall autumnal vlog in October. And I did want to read a couple more fall books. The first being an indie pick with Toothsucker by Caden Love. Good friends with Caden. Caden's awesome. And I'm looking forward to checking this out. It is cyberpunk with teeth-eating vampires. Wild. I also wanted something a little shorter so I can include multiple books in this reading vlog that I'm planning on doing. And also I kind of wanted a wide range of horror and fall books. So we've got Exorcist, which is just horror. We have this, which is cyberpunk, which is just a genre I absolutely adore. And I kind of want to check out more cyberpunk now that I'm getting really excited for Cyberpunk Edge Runners Season 2. I did not think they were going to do a Season 2 of that show. So the fact that they are making one has me so damn excited. That is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. If you haven't watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners on Netflix yet, do yourself a favor and watch it. I know some people don't like animated shows. Watch it anyway. It's some of the best storytelling, not just in TV shows, but ever. And I love it so much. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping to catch some of that vibes from this book as well. It is one of the comparison titles that Caden has for this book. So, very excited to check it out. Now, I'd love to fit this other fall book in the autumnal vlog, but it's really long, which makes me think I'm not going to get to all of them. That might be the reading vlog. However, I do still want to read, even if it falls slightly out, with Empire of the Damned. I loved Empire the Vampire. One of my favorite books of all time. I love the writing style. It's super immersive. There are just some of those books that suck you into the world. There's this magic feeling that I've read books that don't give me that feeling that I still love. So it doesn't necessarily have to be there, but there are some books that just capture that magic. And Empire the Vampire for me was one of those books. And I think for me, some of the aspects of the books that kind of draw that feeling out in me is longer books, beautiful prose, deep world building, heavily flawed characters, and that sums up this series so well. And with the third and final book in the trilogy, Empire of the Dawn, coming out in November, I do want to get this read very soon so I can hop into that relatively soon after. I don't think it'll be 2026. Might fall into, I don't mean it'll be 2025, it might fall into 2026 because these books are pretty damn big. So at the end of every month, I do a new release video talking about the new books coming out in the next month. And usually at the end of that video, I talk about the book that we are reading in the Discord read-along for the next month. And this is coming out before that new release video, so I've not mentioned this yet. However, over on Patreon, it has been voted that we are reading, I'm trying to be careful because this is a very nice edition, of The Will of the Many by James Islington. This is what was voted in for October. Not particularly spooky or fall-themed. However, with the strength of the few coming out and the hype around this series right now is huge. And I did not read The Will of the Many when it came out, despite the fact that it was huge the year it came out. I think it was 2 years ago now. And it was on so many people's favorite books of the year list. And I've been wanting to read it since then. I'm very excited. And I'm really glad that they voted this one in because I am amped to give it a read, especially with the sequel coming out. And Patrick did a review of Strength of the Few just recently. And that man knows how to hype up a book. When he is excited about a book to that level, I know I have to read that series. And he was pretty much the same with The Will of the Many. So the fact that book 2, I think he said, was even better. Needless to say, I'm very excited for this. So we are reading this in October over on the Discord. So if you've not read it, and you want to join in on the hype, definitely hop over there and we will give this a little 1-2 flickaroo. Okay, so that's 8. We have 2 left. And the 2 books are 2 that I've kind of had on pause for months. Months and months. Trying really hard to stay on top of the read-along books this year. We have 1 a month, and it's been Sun Eater bi-monthly, and then the second month is a random book that is voted in over on Patreon. And I have done it. I've stayed on top of them. It is great, but it does mean some of the other reads have kind of fallen to the wayside a wee bit this year. I've not read tons this year. Part of the reason is something I can't yet share, but there will be more on that very, very soon. However, I do want to finish these 2 books because both of them are in some of my favorite series of all time. So, of course, I'm talking about The Inevitable Ruin. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Oh, it's on the spine. Book 7 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I don't know if I've talked about this series, but it's pretty good. This potentially could become one of my favorite series, if not my favorite series of all time. It's getting to that point where it might be my favorite series of all time. I hate picking one. It's up there though. It's a contender. I've talked about a lot. It is majorly popular in the last couple of years. It's really skyrocketed up into the stratosphere, especially with its traditional publishing deal after being self-published. This series has blown up, and yeah, I love it so much. It's incredible. I've just kind of had it on pause, but I cannot wait to get back to it. And I'm listening to the audiobook because the audiobooks to this series are so damn good. They're incredible. And I also do want to get this read so I can read Operation Bounce House, also by Matt Dinniman, which is coming out next February, which is not connected to the Dungeon Crawler Carl books. It's just something completely different. I don't know if it's a standalone or if it's going to be a series. I think it's going to be a standalone. But yeah, I'd love to check out more of his work. And he is doing a UK tour, so I don't mean to hype this up too much, but he's coming over to the UK, which is super exciting. It'll be really cool to see him talk, get him to sign a book. So I will be doing that when he comes over to Glasgow. But if you're in the UK, he's hitting up a bunch of different spots. So definitely check out over on his website. If you're interested, I think both Matt and Jeff Hayes, the narrator, are both coming over. Yeah, I think that'll be really, really cool. I'm excited about it. And last but not least, I kind of lost momentum with this book, but I do want to finish it, and that is Wind and Truth. Yeah, it's just huge. I'm just halfway through, and it's kind of slowed down a bit. I do think all of the Stormlight books kind of slow down a bit in the middle, especially from Oathbringer onwards. Again, these last two books I've had on pause for months, so I've mentioned them on and off for months. So I don't want to ramble too much of the same again. I do want to read it. I'm really excited about finishing it. I think I might listen to like one chapter in the last 2 months. I do want to get a proper run at it and finish it. I'm probably 2/3 of the way through because I am listening to the audiobook. But I really want to see the Stormlight and Cosmere implications of the ending of this book. And I'm still having a good time with it. So those are the 10 books I want to read before 2026. So many of them are huge. We're going to do it though. Let me know some of the books that you want to read before the end of the year. Are you finishing off series, or are you really excited about a new release? There are a couple coming out that look really, really good. The end of the year is packed for some really heavy-hitting new releases. So let me know if you're going to check any of those out, or if you're just working on some of that backlog. Thank you very much for watching. But here we go, I guess.